जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय जय
एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही। एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही। है दयाल हरि, है कृपाल हरि, तू याचक हो दर आ तो सही। है दयाल हरि, है कृपाल हरि, तू याचक हो दर आ तो सही। एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, फिर सुध तन मन की पिसार के गाँव, फिर प्रेम में सब कुछ हार के गाँव। फिर सुध तन मन की पिसार के गाँव, फिर प्रेम में सब कुछ हार के गाँव। वह जन्म मरण के साथी है, वह जन्म मरण के साथी है। तू प्रभु को अपना बना तो सही, बना तो सही। एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही। फिर सारे बंधन तोड़ देगा, जंजाल जगत के छोड़ के गा। फिर सारे बंधन तोड़ के गा, जंजाल जगत के छोड़ के गा। प्रभु आएंगे मन मंदिर में, प्रभु आएंगे मन मंदिर में। तू प्रेम का दीप जला तो सही, जला तो सही। एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही। तू गोविंद गोविंद गाए आए जा, प्रभु रह न सकेंगे आएंगे, प्रभु रह न सकेंगे आएंगे, शरणागत हो तू बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही, एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही, है दयाल हरि, है कृपाल हरि, तू याचक होकर आ तो सही, है दयाल हरि, है कृपाल हरि, तू याचक होकर आ तो सही, एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तू हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही, एक बार तू नाम हरि का ले।
Yeah, but because
एक बार तो नाम हरि का ले, एक बार तो हरि को बुला तो सही, बुला तो सही।
you downloaded it, is it? If you see the downloaded one, I don't need to do all that. Since you have already downloaded, I don't need to do that. Only two are there. I'll download it. You can send it on WhatsApp. The link? No, just the audio, whichever you send. Then have you sent? Video file. Download it. I only download audio. I don't have video. Shall I send you the link? I'll give you the audio. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om. Huh? Hari Om, Hari Om. Today morning, pranam, pranam, pranam. Every day morning at 6:40 we join everybody in the bhajan hall to have this vocal chanting of Ram Nam in slow speed for 15 minutes. And afterwards there will be mental chanting for 15 minutes. And then after that, before the flower offering, we used to read some inspiring portion of Papa's works. Today it happened to be, we don't plan anything, we just open. It happens to be on Maya, from At the Feet of God.
I'll mute them and come. Somebody bring the laptop. I'll mute them. Somebody
Okay. Ignorance or delusion, please Swami come. Ignorance or delusion, Maya, sets on the belief that this body of ours is real and makes us forget the all-pervading divine being who is the one and only reality. Living in this ignorance, our sole outlook on life becomes one continued service of this inconstant, unreal, perishable body. Papa is directly addressing to all of us directly. This is what is happening in us. We might be doing some spiritual discipline. Our concern then is always to find ways and means as to how best to nourish and protect this body. What best food should be given to it? What clothing should this body wear? What ornaments should adorn it? What must be put on the head? What on the feet? What must be used to cover the legs? What to dress the body with? And what rings, what bangles, what necklaces, what jewelry should it be decked with? These are the things in which we engage ourselves. The body demands fine and luxurious food to eat, rich clothing to wear, a soft bed to lie upon, and brilliant ornaments to adorn itself with. It calls for fine music for the ears, sensuous sights for the eyes, sweet aroma for the nose. Oh, the delusion of this body. We fidget about the whole day and night in pursuit of the requirements of this transient body. It wants a spacious, decorated, well-furnished house to live in. It wants so many things and beings to satisfy its momentary pleasures. We are every minute engaged in this mad rush of satisfying the cravings of the body, and the mind and the senses are in full play, making havoc for our lives. In our blind pursuit, we hate and get angry with our brethren, snatch ruthlessly from them, and secure for them ourselves what our mind has set its upon it as our want. After all, to what purpose? For a momentary gain, for a passing happiness. In this struggle, what do we experience? Misery, pain, disappointment, anxiety, care, disease, and ultimate distraction. The all-loving, all-blissful reality Ram is entirely forgotten. We forget the fact that we come alone, naked into the world, and leave it at the end in the same condition. The hoarded wealth, the loved relations, the cherished fame, the vast property, the gold we value so much, all we leave behind and carry with us only a load of sin which we gather in the course of our strife and struggle to amass these worldly baubles. Oh, vain life, vain world, how attractive are thy wiles! The Maya is such ignorance. The Maya is such. Ignorance is such. Instead of being the servant of the all-powerful, ever-existing, all-loving Ram, we become slaves of our bodies, senses, and the mind. O Ram, how wonderful is the illusion in which thou keepest us all. By thy grace alone can we free ourselves from it. O Ram, have pity on us, liberate us, take us on to your holy feet. The world is simply a vanishing play of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. All forms are merely the result of the gunas. Therefore, we should never associate ourselves with these gunas and the appearances caused by them. But who has assumed these forms and the gunas that are mayavic or elusive? It is the one supreme imperishable being, the only reality. Therefore, let the forms and gunas produce on us no impression whatsoever, except that of merely reminding us of the reality that appears to us as these forms controlled by the gunas. Diversity is false. Unity or oneness is truth. Let our mind be always fixed on truth, the only truth. Let the mind be never allowed to dwell upon objects or forms. Let the mind be not engaged in judging or criticizing things and forms. In order to stop wandering of the mind that runs away to think upon various objects which, as different entities, are all unreal and therefore disturbing, we must develop the practice of immediately associating the thought of the reality with the thought of the object. Whatever it may be. If you go on having this practice, diversity gets merged into the real unity, Maya gets absorbed in the Brahman, the turmoil of the mind is gone, and in its place settle down the everlasting peace and bliss, because the reality itself denotes and is peace and bliss. Though we are all sadhakas or devotees, we may be involving ourselves, our mind may be telling us that we are involving in various sadhana disciplines. Still, at the core of our being, I think the Mayavic influence, as Papa put it, it is still very, very strong. So every now and then, suppose we go through it, so that it gives us a warning signal, no? One thing also we find, if in our earlier years, if this is not brought to our mind, and the body and the senses, they prioritize so many things, and then they get used to it. And at the advanced stage, it will be difficult to live without that. Papa wrote this when he was 40 years old, we can say. Less than 40. And he subjected himself to denials of all these. And then he wrote, because he was able to see the transient and the everlasting, the ephemeral and the eternal. But we are reading at this age. So, to what extent this can become a reality in our life, only He knows, that's all. Not that we don't want to, but whether the body will permit us, it cooperate with us, body and mind, not merely body. And now we realize, at least intellectually, why our sadhana is not, when somebody said, intense aspiration, why that intensity has not come? Because the mind space is occupied by all these. Naturally, the intensity will be less. So, probably when we go through such revelations periodically, it might help us. To some extent, we may be able to develop this self-denial. Some extent. We also know that we cannot jump into the feeling that we can live as Papa lived, because he denied everything, And then he was able to leave everything to the dictates of the all-loving, all-pervading reality. We are not. We may be doing all these things, but we have not left everything to that. So this will help us to do this periodical stock taking. And what is the hurdle that we are facing? Once again we will read ignorance or delusion, that is Maya, sets us on the belief that this body of ours is real and makes us forget the all-pervading divine being who is the one and only reality. Living in this ignorance, our sole outlook of life becomes one continued service of this inconstant, unreal, perishable body. Our concern then is always to find ways and means as to how best to nourish and protect this body, what best food should be given to it, what clothing should this body wear, what ornaments should adorn it, what must be put on the head, what on the feet, what must be used to cover the legs, what to dress the body with. In 1927, to write like this, what to dress the body with, or what rings, what bangles, what necklaces, what jewelry should it be decked with. These are the things in which we engage ourselves. The body demands fine and luxurious food to eat, rich clothing to wear, a soft bed to lie upon, and brilliant ornaments to adorn itself with. It calls for fine music for the ears, sensuous sights for the eyes, sweet aroma for the nose. Oh, the delusion of this body. We fidget about the whole day and night in pursuit of the requirements of this transient body. It wants a spacious, decorated, well-furnished house to live in. It wants so many things and beings to satisfy its momentary pleasures. We are every minute engaged in this mad rush of satisfying the cravings of the body, and the mind and senses are in their full play, making havoc for our lives. In our blind pursuit, we hate and get angry with our brethren, snatch ruthlessly from them, and secure for ourselves what our mind has set its upon as our want. After all, to what purpose? For a momentary gain, for a passing happiness. In this struggle, what do we experience? Misery, pain, disappointment, anxiety, care, disease, ultimate destruction. The all-loving, all-blissful reality, Ram, is entirely forgotten. We forget the fact that we come alone, naked. We come alone, naked into the world and leave it at the end in the same condition. The hoarded wealth, the loved relations, the cherished fame, the vast property, the gold we value so much, all we leave behind and carry with us only a load of sin which we gather in the course of our strife and struggle to amass these worldly baubles. Oh, vain life, oh, vain world, how attractive are thy wiles. The Maya is such, ignorance is such, instead of being the servant of the all-powerful, ever-existing, all-loving Ram, we become slaves of our body, senses and the mind. O Ram, how wonderful is the illusion in which thou keepest us all. Thy grace alone can be By thy grace alone can we free ourselves from it. O Ram, have pity on us, liberate us, take us on to your holy feet. The world is simply a vanishing play of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. All forms are merely the result of the gunas. Therefore, we should never associate ourselves with these gunas and the appearances caused by them. But who has assumed these forms and gunas that are mayavic or elusive? It is the one supreme, imperishable being, the only reality. Therefore, let the forms and gunas produce on us no impression whatsoever except that of merely reminding us of the reality that appears to us as these forms controlled by the gunas. Diversity is false, unity or oneness is truth. Let our mind be always fixed on truth, the only truth. Let the mind be never allowed to dwell upon objects or forms. Let the mind not be engaged in judging or criticizing things and forms. In order to stop wandering of the mind that runs away to think upon various objects which as different entities are all unreal and therefore disturbing, we must develop the practice of immediately associating the thought of the reality with the thought of the object, whatever it may be. Reality with the thought of the object. Because object we cannot rule out. Where from it has come. If you go on having this practice, the diversity gets merged in the real unity, Maya gets absorbed in the Brahman, the turmoil of the mind is gone, and in its place settle down the everlasting peace and bliss, because the reality itself denotes and is peace and bliss. Once in a way we will read these revelations. At the Feet of God is a compilation of his own dialogue with the indwelling reality. First, the indwelling reality is addressed as Mother, and a dialogue between the mother and the devotee. And he has touched upon many in the small, tiny little book. Unless and until we do some manana on the subject, very difficult. Because this will all help us to make our Ramnam more effective, to remind us of the goal to be scaled, and also to make ourselves impervious of the various attractions that are coming from outside. Vairagya. On certain things, we may feel we have got developed Vairagya. But some other thing, we have moved away from the reality, and again, when we read this, what comes to our mind is Adi Shankara's Nirvana Shakti. Periodical chanting and manana might help us, because that is also making our mind shifting from the ephemeral to the eternal, the transient to the intransient. Manobuddhi ahankara chittani naham. Mananam should be there. Right? We all know that chanting is going on. It is set on a beautiful tune, so what? We are there as we are. So this is the food for thought today Papa gave us before we thought we will take up the Bhagavad Gita. All these things we are doing only for this, Otherwise we may feel, textual learning, academic exercise, intellectual exercise, all those things will be there, okay, some thrill will be there. But basic thing is, are we moving toward the crux, the core of our being? Anybody would like to say anything?
Our goal is oneness, Swamiji. That goal, our goal is oneness.
Oneness with that reality.
Only when we are sleeping, oneness is.
But there we don't know that we can never develop oneness, because we are not aware. Though in deep sleep, the thought is not there, we are not aware. Here we have been promised by Mahatmas that you become aware of the awareness. Every day God is giving us this Sushupti Avastha because we all crave for that, Why? We are free from the me and mine. We are free from thoughts. One day, suppose we don't sleep, we become upset. So that means we need not merely rest. That is the time when we are free from our thoughts, the me and mine. So whenever we are away from the clutches of me and mine, which owes its origin to a thought, we are happy. But during the deep sleep, we are not aware of it. Here, a purified mind, or as Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa put it, Pakka ego, not a Kacha ego. The Pakka ego realizes. The sense of individuality is there, but it realizes its true nature. As Papa puts it, though Ram and Ramdas are one, Ramdas would always like to be the Das of Ram. That state. Always full. Indications always full. Purnam. no question of inadequacy, insufficiency, fullness, fullness, fullness. At the same time, we are not indifferent to the world. We are not indifferent to the world. That also should be.
Only when you say these things, I realize that I'm so very far away from the truth.
I realize I'm far away from the truth. When you tell all this, when you're telling all this, she's feeling that she's far away from the truth.
Not only you, everybody. Because right from our young age, unknowingly, unwittingly, our parents, elders, everywhere, we have been fattening this projected image of ourselves. It has taken very deep root in us. And after all these things, one fine morning, through a spiritual preceptor, we come to know that we are not what we assume ourselves to be. We can only hear. Because it has taken very deep, the projected image of ourselves. That is the that is the source of this, or that is the play of the Maya. We are something different, but we are projecting something. God has done this for the sake of his Leela. Okay. Which fact we also don't know. As soon as we are born on a particular date, we are given a name. Everybody starts calling the name. We look at it, we identify ourselves with the name. When we start knowing about our body, when our parents, mother, especially your father, they will say, you are so beautiful, you are wonderful, you are this. So we understand that we are this body. We go to the school and when we come back with good marks, we say, you are intelligent. Not that they mean anything bad, but the net result is we are somehow the image. We have never been told at the impressionable age that we are the nameless, formless Atman, assuming the role of a name and form for the sake of his will. Even if it is told, we may not understand. Many things we now realize, what we got from the early stage. Many shlokas, many things, we remember. But nowhere we were told. We go to the puja room, we see God is different from us. We are taken to the temple, God is from us. We are taken to the ashram, Guru is different from us. So like that, I become a devotee. So one fine morning when we hear this, it is difficult to undress ourselves. Put on so many. That is why Papa has added the last line, or last but before. You see this? The Maya is such, ignorance is such. Instead of being the servant of the all-powerful, ever-existing and all-loving Ram, we become slaves of our body, senses and the mind. O Ram, how wonderful is the illusion in which thou keepest us all. By thy grace alone can we free ourselves from it. O Ram, have pity on us and liberate us and take us on to your holy feet.
to fervent prayer.
Huh? What uncle?
It amounts to fervent prayer.
Fervent prayer. Fervent prayer.
Fervent prayer.
Yes.
So he has made all these things, you know. He takes us to the mall, and instead of concentrating on what we actually want to buy from there, so many things are exhibited there. Our attraction, our eyes go to different things. So these are all okay, it's okay. But at the same time, he makes us to feel for others, then we get joy. He makes us to witness death, to know that life is transient. He makes us to pass through different types of experience. When we were in the childhood, what was attracted to us, that later on we naturally dropped it off. Every now and then we are made to understand that it is temporary. So like that he keeps on teaching us also, but unfortunately he doesn't make us to learn the teachings. Including what we are reading now. No? So not that we have to give up hope. So simultaneously we must develop this. He says, Sattvajas Tamas Guna, the entire manifestation has come because of these three gunas. That is why varieties are there. But we should know he is behind that. That is all. In his play. The world is simply a vanishing play of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. All forms are merely the result of the gunas. Therefore, we should never associate ourselves with these gunas and the appearances caused by them. But who has assumed these forms and the gunas that are Mayavi? It is the one supreme, imperishable being, the only reality. Therefore, let the forms and gunas produce on us no impression whatsoever except that of merely reminding us of the reality that appears to us as these forms controlled by the gunas. Now, the purpose of going through this particular inspiring article is to remind us every now and then, because even our so-called labeled spiritual practitioners might also slip into this. That means our priority remains the same, but our activities may differ. Priority of allowing the mind senses to dominate us, it remains intact. While the activities may give us the feeling that we are doing this, doing that. This is the problem we are faced with. Each one has to find out by appealing to him. We don't find any general prescription for it. So now we go to the Bhagavad Gita. Reverence to relevance. The Gita touch in daily life, exploring shlokas from chapter number 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Where are we now? Okay, we will read the preface and the insights. Chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, is often overlooked as merely a dramatic prologue to the deeper teachings that follow. But this chapter holds profound psychological and spiritual significance. Huh? Okay. Chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, is often overlooked as merely a dramatic prologue to the deeper teachings that follow. But this chapter holds profound psychological and spiritual significance. It marks the moment when a warrior's confidence gives way to crisis, and where the journey of inner transformation truly begins. We suddenly remember In Quest of God. The first chapter, first line of the first paragraph says the stressful period through which he was passing. The last line of the last chapter of the last paragraph says about serenity. So Arjuna Vishadayo, Moksha Sannyasayo. No? Please think about it. We don't want to place ourselves in the Mahabharata period. We are in 2025. We cannot go back to 6,000 years ago. We are only trying to find out whether the song celestial, as it is relevant to our present day life. So Mahatmas keep on telling us it is relevant. It is addressed to the man on the field, not to the man in the cave. It is a powerful reminder that self-realization often starts with self-doubt. Set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna stands at a threshold, torn between his duty as a warrior and his attachment to family, tradition, and identity. Overwhelmed by grief, fear, and moral confusion, he drops his bow. This moment of collapse, of inner unraveling, is not weakness. It is the yoga of despair, because even sorrow, when met with honesty and surrender, can lead to awakening. So Vishada is not a negative aspect, It becomes a negative aspect only when we stop with Vishada. The first lesson of the first chapter. It is the yoga of despair. It is not weakness. It is the yoga of despair, because even sorrow, when met with honesty and surrender. Shishyasteham shadimam tam prapannam. He says, I don't know what is what. I am your Shishya. Please enlighten me. That is surrender. Honestly. He did not hide anything. He did not want to project anything. He made himself. And he did not run away. That is very important. Vinobaji's that particular interpretation is very important. Though he sat, the Gandiva slipped, he sat. But he did not tell Krishna, please take me back home. He sat there. Because he knew his charioteer is the guide. So Vishada Yoga, though it may appear to be a negative word, we now realize that so long as we have this faith in God, faith in a higher power, and the last sloka also corroborates, wherever there is Arjuna and wherever there is Krishna, What is that sloga? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. There prosperity, success, everything prevails. So leave those meanings and slogas now. They are indicators. They give us some meaning. So Vishada, everyone is made to go through Vishada. And Papa became Vittal, the transition from Vittal Rao to Swami Ramdas. It was because of this failure after failure after failure, successive failures. Puja Mataji's life, severest blow caused by the death of her most loving husband at a very tender age, Vishada. In our own lives, we all experience Kurukshetra moments. When decisions weigh heavy, roads become burdensome, and emotions cloud our vision. We may know what is expected of us, but not have the strength to act. In these times, Arjuna Vishada Yoga becomes deeply relevant. It shows us that confusion is not the end of the path, it is often the beginning of clarity. Confusion is not the end of the path, it is often the beginning of clarity. This booklet explores 10 real-life situations mirrored in the shlokas of chapter number 1, whether it is emotional breakdown, ethical dilemmas, or the paralysis caused by overthinking. Each story reflects how the Gita's wisdom is present even in our most fragile states. Chapter 1 teaches us to pause before we act, to feel deeply before we respond, and to question bravely before we commit. It validates the inner storms while preparing the ground for the light that follows. Through themes like vulnerability, empathy, identity crisis, moral courage, this chapter allows us to see that true strength is born in the willingness to face one's weakness. This is not a chapter to be rushed through. It must be reflected upon. Because it is in these very moments of one's of inner conflict, that transformation becomes possible. As Arjuna surrenders to Krishna with the words, I am confused about my duty and am besieged with anxiety, I ask you to tell me clearly what is best for me. So too can we begin our own journey from confusion to clarity. Let us begin with chapter 1 as the mirror of our own inner battles. In its tears and tremors lies the seed of transformation. And the first honest step towards self-mastery. See how the perception changes. And what are the insights that kindle when you go through that? Attachment clouds judgment, leads to partiality, especially when exercised by those in positions of power. Attachment clouds judgment. First is slogan. Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, my sons and Pandu's sons, If you are told they are eligible, you must give, war would not be there. Effective actions begins with thoughtful observation. When we assess before acting, we act from clarity. Understand before engaging in action, take a mindful pause even in a moment of urgency. A thoughtful pause before major life choices can prevent years of inner conflict and misalignment. Changing direction after reflection is growing up. Wisdom lies in tuning inward before stepping forward. Inner conflict manifests as outer breakdown. It is never too late to pause and recalibrate. Discernment begins with honest reflection. Victory is not always in the climb. Sometimes it lies in stepping back. Much of our emotional suffering comes not from what is, but from what we think is. Assumptions feed emotional turmoil. Examine rather than immediately believing the thoughts that disturb. Transformative power of pause and clarity. Still create the ground for clarity. Assumptions are often the real enemy. Misperceptions could cloud judgment and lead to unnecessary sorrow. Emotional distress does not always mean something is wrong externally. Often it signals a need to look within and challenge the narrative we have built. Open-hearted dialogue is the medicine for mental confusion. Transformative power of pause and clarity. Stillness creates the ground for clarity. Clarity is not the absence of confusion, but the courage to seek truth through it. Adharma does not just affect individuals, it ripples outward, affecting communities and future generations. Protecting dharma and safeguarding the respect. Protecting dharma and safeguarding the respect, freedom and well-being of women is necessary for the collective well-being of society. That is why mothers are considered to be the pillar of a family. Because right from our impressionable age, who is giving us thoughts, good thoughts? Through simple, not all talk, How does she feed us, How does she take care of us whenever we behave? Our affection towards her is only to the attachment to the body. But she is the first teacher, That is why mothers, Indian tradition gives a lot of importance for mothers. So when ladies lose the grip on moral values, the whole society crumbles. Because they are the one who is feeding us right from our impressionable age, That is what is meant here. Collective well-being of society. Women is necessary for the collective well-being of the society. Self-deception masquerades as virtues. The mind often rationalizes unethical action as noble or necessary. Justice, tempered with compassion, restores balance and trust. It encourages truth-telling, transforms guilt into growth. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it. Sometimes the comfort of a loved one is all we need to gather our strength again. Every now and then we have to go through the preface and the points, because our habit, we get stuck somewhere. And each chapter will have the chart, shloka number, topic, clues to the incident, shloka, segment. When we go through the segment, we find it addresses family, profession, personal, social, student segments. We will take up. What is that? Where are we now? Degradation?
We've not done that yet.
Clarity?
Clarity we did.
No.
Perception. But perception too, it is hard. So it is
Zainab and Simran. Simran and Zainab.
Vijit?
Simran, Zainab.
Simran over. That is not misunderstanding. Okay. Clarity. A young couple, Manav and Madhumita, overwhelmed by misunderstanding and emotional turmoil, found themselves hastily heading toward divorce. In the courtroom, judge, sensing the depth of their confusion, quietly exercised wisdom by not passing immediate judgment, but by suggesting a pause and delaying the proceedings. It had happened here in Kanyagar. We have only changed the names. That unexpected interval created space for reflection. In those days of waiting, Manav and Madhumita, free from the heat of argument, found the courage for one honest conversation. With hearts a little more open, clarity returned. They realized that what they truly sought was not separation, but understanding. The marriage, once on the verge of collapse, was saved by the simple act of stepping back before acting. This confusion is similar to that faced by Arjuna in Shloka 32, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna, book, Malayalam book. Najarajyam Sukhanicha, Kim no Rajyena Govinda, Kim Bhoge Jividenava. For I desire not victory, Nakanksha Vijayam Krishna, Natarajyam Sukhanicha, Kim no Rajyena Govinda, Kim Bhogair Jivitena Dava. For I desire not victory, O Krishna, not kingdom, nor pleasure. Of what avail is dominion to us? Of what avail are pleasures or even life itself? In a situation demanding decisive action, Arjuna's mind is clouded. Arjuna's confusion is not unique. It mirrors the moments of our own lives when we lose sight of what truly matters, just like Manav and Madhumita. A mind blurred by emotion or expectation cannot appreciate what it already holds. Shloka 32 invites us to pause. What am I truly seeking? The external fruit or the inner fulfillment behind it. When the mind realigns with purpose, confusion fades, life begins its meaning. We become aware that clarity emerges through participation, engagement, and the willingness to listen. Sometimes clarity does not precede action, it is born out of it. So it is not a direct meaning, because we are living in 2025, not 6,000 years ago. So we are trying to understand the level of confusion Arjuna had, and the level of confusion this Madhumita and Manav. Suddenly they wanted to get separated. What use? I will not say.
What is the caption?
Caption clarity. Next is degradation. Okay. In a small village, the Vishwakarma family was once respected for their values and harmony. The grandfather upheld dharma through honesty and service, but over time, his sons grew greedy, got into land disputes, resorted to lies and manipulation. The once united household fell into infighting. The daughters-in-law, who were once nurturers of love and tradition, began to lose their voice and dignity. The young girls in the family, witnessing daily conflict and no respect for women, began losing faith in marriage and virtue. The young boys imitated the aggression they saw. Marriages began to break, children grew up confused and bitter, and the family name once honored became a warning sign in the village. This decline in family values reflects the warning in the Bhagavad Gita through Shloka number 41. Adharma vibhavad Krishna pradushyanti kurastriya trishu drishtasu varshneya jayate varna sankara. When unrighteousness prevails, O Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt. And when the women are corrupted, O descendant of Vrishni clan, there arises intermixture of castes, Varna Sankara. Adharma spreads like a disease. When the sanctity of women and family is affected, the entire society suffers. Therefore, protecting dharma is not just a religious duty, it is about preserving the soul of a family and the moral fabric of society. When we respect women, uphold virtue, nurture family values, we build a strong foundation for future generations. We remember one striking word of Gandhiji. Gandhiji's Ramarajya, that is what he visualizes. He is there when at the midnight a young lady goes fearless. This is what he has written. And we actually witnessed when we were in Ahmedabad. We had gone there, Satsang. One Satsang was held in an industrial estate. So they suggested that they will be free only by 10 o'clock in the night. So we all went there by 10 o'clock. After their work, they had their wash and they came to the hall. And the satsang went on for up to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. When we came out, we saw a lady sitting on a scooter and riding. So we asked our host, ladies can go at 1 o'clock alone. He said, no, they are safe here. Ahmedabad. We have not heard anything. Even in Raipur, I have seen at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. They go. No, we have not heard anything now. We don't know. So that shows, our moral ethical values, how far it is. That is the testing ground. Gandhiji wanted that everybody to know. There is the Ramarajya. Apart from various other points, this is one there. That means Indian tradition gives lot of importance for the respect of ladies. More of it tomorrow. Oh, Shloka 41. Degradation. So suppose we concentrate on the shloka, the textual meaning, without referring to the modern life, it becomes academic, that's all. But whereas when we go deeply into this, at least we will start at home, We remember our mothers, what all they taught us at our impressionable age. Everything is touched and kindled in us. It will have some effect in our life to be lived. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Pranam Sir ji.